bad karma because the moments of seeing and hearing, who knows if it's experiencing anything unpleasant. But the real problem is the thinking with attachment, the thinking with dosa, and the thinking with ignorance, the accumulation, the unwholesome accumulation. So what we learn is that actually all the problems in life are really not the results of karma, but the real problems in life are the unwholesome ways of thinking, the unwise attention, the thinking with attachment, the thinking with ignorance, and thinking with aversion. Even if it's a painful bodily experience, the moment of pain, the result of unwholesome karma, is just for a moment, so brief. And then there is so much thinking with dosa, and that's the real problem at those times. So it helps a lot to understand more about realities, to really see the truth of life.
Thank you very much for your explanation. I have no idea.
And what is clearer? The understanding now of seeing that it's not self, and moment when it's direct understanding of that which sees as a self.
Because before I sometimes I just
more wise attention, more understanding, and better, it will condition direct understanding of seeing nothing at all. At that very moment, just one reality at a time.
yes.
And can anyone not do anything? No. So no one can do anything and no one can not do anything. So no one can say because there are just conditions, so I won't run a business or I won't bother to listen to Dhamma, because that's still the idea of I can do or I cannot do.
Yes, I get it.
Can there be clear understanding, not only theoretical or intellectual understanding like now? Is it possible?
Impossible.
When right understanding develops little by little, it will understand a little bit better and better of that which now seeing at moment of talking about it.
We're talking about much about the thinking. So could you please have to elaborate more the condition thinking thing?
Like now, the thinking for each of us, the thinking is about different objects. For some, it's thinking about the flowers. For some, it's thinking about visible objects. For some, it's thinking about lost mobile. For some, it's thinking about lunch. This depends on different habits or accumulations. There's one condition which relates to the accumulations, the natural decisive support condition. So what has been thought about in the past conditions more thinking about that object now. What has been remembered before conditions more remembering about that object now. What has been understood before conditions more understanding now about that reality. What there was attachment to before conditions more attachment now. In other words, that habit grows stronger and stronger by this condition.
The reason I'm asking because Ajahn talking about the wisely thinking and non-wise thinking. Then, for the wisely thinking, and we need not I or not something, but the need accumulate of the understanding of the reflecting of the reality, something like that. I'm not sure.
I think it's clear. Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
You said for the wisely thinking, there is no idea of I, but wise thinking is just a moment. It's not a person. There's not a person who is a wise thinker and another person who is not a wise thinker. If there is the hearing of the Dhamma and the understanding of what has been heard, it can condition a moment of wise thinking. And at that moment there is no idea of I. And that moment, as Sarah was explaining, accumulates. Has there been wise thinking in the past, in previous lifetimes? Has the Dhamma been heard previously and understood?
I guess not.
I'm sure it has. Otherwise there wouldn't be the interest in it in this lifetime.
Maybe that condition for attention and attend the discussion here.
So some wise thinking has been accumulated, even if it doesn't arise very often. But it needs the right conditions for it to arise again in this lifetime. What are those conditions?
Accumulation again.
No, what are the conditions that it is the wise thinking has been accumulated? What are the conditions for that wise thinking to arise again in this lifetime?
You mean in this lifetime, right?
It's been accumulated in previous lifetimes and can arise again in this lifetime. But what are the conditions for it to arise again? Just the things we've been talking about. There has to be the hearing about realities, about the moment, about Dhammas, about the different Dhammas that are appearing at the present moment, and what their nature and characteristic is. And if there is if that is understood and reflected upon, it may condition wise thinking. Because wise thinking is just thinking about the way things are.
Yes, because
if there is the accumulation to think wisely, because some people may come and hear this but no accumulation to think wisely, so it needs the accumulation too.
Yeah, sure. Because at the moment of the hearings, there is no why thinking. At the moment of why thinking, maybe a little bit later on, maybe at the moment of seeing, hey, just wisely think at that moment, maybe that happened very short time. So it seemed like randomly or by randomly conditioned and accumulation in the past. Yeah.
When you say it seems randomly conditioned, the timing seems random, but the conditioning is the same condition, whatever the timing. Because, as we were saying earlier, the reflecting on what has been heard happens from time to time without necessarily deliberately reflecting about it. So when the consequence of that reflection on what has been heard conditions the arising of awareness, and what object it takes, we have no control over.
And now there is such a lot of unwholesome thinking, unwise attention, which has been so strongly accumulated, but the reason for discussing and considering and airing our questions is because this is the condition for wise attention or wise considering to begin to develop more, so that there can be more wise considering and less unwise considering in future.
We hear the Dhamma, we are reminded that there are realities at this moment, like hearing or seeing, and then so many moments of forgetfulness. We talked about the characteristic of sati, which is non-forgetfulness of a reality which appears. But because of our accumulations in the past, there's such a lot of ignorance and forgetfulness. So mostly in a day we are forgetful, and then we listen again and we are reminded again. And there are some moments very short of right understanding, and that can be accumulated little by little. And that is the condition now and then to be aware, or that there is sati or non-forgetfulness of what appears now.
And the fact that it happens randomly is confirmation that it is conditioned and not self.
So I think also helpful to remember that understanding develops very little in each lifetime. Very, very little. That's why it takes so long. Because otherwise many people think that, we hear the teaching and then in this lifetime we have to become enlightened, and that is very far from the truth.
Is it a concern for you that the wise thinking is so little? Would you like it to be a lot more?
Listening to the Dhamma also by condition, right? So the good accumulation in the past condition the listening to the right Dhamma talking. Then, and it's a very value for the self. Just say that, just myself. Luckily to that, and a little bit, then understand.
And
on and on and on.
Is hearing the Dhamma also conditioned?
I think yes.
And including for those people that are here now, is the hearing conditioned?
Yeah, sure.
So could a person be here and listening but thinking about other things?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. And having other thoughts about having more understanding and so forth? It's not a moment of hearing the Dhamma or reflecting on what has been heard.
I just wonder about, the nuns, because, apart from Ajahn and, her students, we usually hear from other teachers that the purpose in this lifetime to become enlightened. And coming here, we hear about that it's being very difficult and it takes long time. So would you share a little bit about your impressions, hearing that, what do you think about it?
Microphone.
Dạ chị Tâm Bạch dịch dùm ha. Thì ngay cái lần đầu tiên mà cách nay vài năm á, mà được biết đến Phật Pháp thì lúc đó cũng đi ngồi thiền. Thì sau đó mà có một cái nhân duyên của một cái chị Loan trong nhóm giới thiệu để nghe những cái lời chia sẻ giáo pháp này á, thì lần đầu tiên nghe xong thì cảm thấy có rất là nhiều điều rất là sáng rõ mà trước đó khi mà mình nghe các vị thầy giảng dạy á, thì mình không có làm thỏa mãn được. Thì mặc dù vậy nhưng mà nghe xong thì quên hết, mình cảm thấy rất là kỳ lạ. Là nghe giáo pháp mình cảm thấy rất là hay, rất là giúp ích, nhưng mà nghe xong thì quên hết, rồi cứ nghe đi nghe lại rất là nhiều lần. Sau đó thì nhận ra như thế này, những cái lời chia sẻ của các vị thì quả thực giúp cho mình là xả ly, có nghĩa là ly tham. Mình kể như thế này, là lần đầu tiên mà đi ngồi thiền đó, cái khóa thiền niệm thân, thì sau khi các vị thầy giảng xong là khi vào khóa thiền thì phải theo quy định như vậy, thì mình làm rất là nghiêm túc đến nỗi mà khi mà có cháy đó, có cái đám cháy mình cũng ngồi đó, mình rất là chánh niệm mà không có động đậy gì cả. Thì những cái người xung quanh rất là bực, đã cháy tới nơi mà còn ngồi đó chánh niệm, không chịu đứng lên chạy đi. Thì lúc đó mình nghĩ là tại vì có dám thiền rồi thì có gì người ta bảo mình thôi, chứ dạy rồi vô đây là phải ngồi chánh niệm thì mình phải chánh niệm thôi, gì hết. Rồi tới cuối cái khóa thiền thì ở trong cái khóa thiền thực hành thì có rất là nhiều cái trải nghiệm rất là kỳ lạ. Và cuối khóa thiền thì mình lên mình thưa với thiền sư là thưa ngài, vậy thì con đã thực hành nghiêm túc như vậy rồi, thì bây giờ ngài cho con biết là con được mấy tuệ rồi. Ngài nói chứ vậy cô nghĩ là cô được mấy tuệ rồi? Cái con nói là dạ con không biết, nhưng mà ngài dạy là nếu mà mình thực hành miên mật như vậy đó thì có 16 tầng tuệ, thì con thực hành được 30 ngày, con rất là nghiêm túc, thì con nghĩ chắc con cũng được 1 tuệ 2 tuệ. Thì thầy nói là con đường đó còn xa lắm, thì ngài dạy sao thì mình tin như vậy thôi. Thì sau đó thì sau khi nghe rất là nhiều cái suy xét, thì sau đó thì sau khi nghe các vị giảng giáo pháp nói đúng rồi, tại vì lúc bắt đầu đó thì cái bài giảng có nghĩa là do căn cơ mình hay sao, thì tại vì cái lời giảng của vị thầy khiến cho mình tin rằng mình sẽ có thể giác ngộ, thậm chí mà cũng không biết giác ngộ gì nữa, thì chỉ nói là giác ngộ rồi nghiêm túc thì sẽ như vậy thôi. Thì mình hiểu ra được rằng cái quan trọng nhất khi mà hiểu giáo pháp đó là học hiểu thì để xả chứ không phải là để được cái gì. Rồi càng hiểu thì mình càng thấy rằng quả là nếu hiểu sai thì mỗi một việc gì mà mình làm nó cũng bắt đầu từ muốn được cả. Ngay chỗ khi mà mới cho ra bố thí thì cũng cảm thấy là cho đi để được cái gì đó, cho đi để được cái gì đó, mà có một cái mượn là một vị thầy dễ là vì tham lam mà bố thí, và rất là nhiều điều. Thì có một điều rất là rồi càng đi càng nghe, nghe đi nghe lại, và ngày nào mình cũng nghe, thì mới hiểu ra rằng lần đầu tiên nghe các vị giảng về bát chánh đạo đó, thì tại lúc đó cũng không hiểu nói bát chánh đạo là cái gì. Và khi nghe giảng là khi mà mình thực hành như vậy, mình ngồi như vậy, mình không nói gì hết, thì có nghĩa là khi không nói có nghĩa là có chánh ngữ. Rồi khi mà mình cứ biết á, làm cái gì biết cái đó, như vậy là mình có chánh niệm. Rồi vì trong một ngày mình thực hành thiền thì mình không có làm gì tạo nghiệp gì hết, vậy thì mình có chánh mạng vân vân. Những điều đó ngay chỗ lúc đó thì mình có cái suy nghĩ là nếu như vậy thì người câm là người có chánh ngữ nhất, rồi cái người mà bị mình liên tưởng thì những cái người mà ở trong bị bại não đó, những cái người mà bị bất hạnh như vậy, thì đó là những cái vị mà có nhiều cái chánh nghiệp, chánh mạng nhất, là vì họ không làm gì cả. Thì dạ xin lỗi. Thì share.
Yes, so she said that she, a Dhamma friend has introduced her about Ajahn, and she has been teaching, listening to Ajah's teaching for a couple of years, and she shared about her experience at during a retreat. That because during in the retreat, then she was told to be develop mindfulness. That's why in the retreat, then one time there was a fire, but she still kept on sitting to develop mindfulness because she was told to do so. So she ignored the fire alarm, at the end of the retreat, she asked the instructor that how many panya among of the 16 panya levels, among of the 60 levels of insight, how many levels did she achieve? Then at that time, the instructor also told her that the path is still long ahead, and she realized that she was wrong when she listened to the Dhamma talk at the retreat. Then she think that she had been practicing seriously, so she would she might have gained at least one or something level. And in terms of the Noble Eightfold Path, then at the meditation center, she was told that when you don't do anything wrong, so it means that being at the meditation center, then meditators would have right livelihood, and being noble silent, so the meditator will have right speech, and so on. But since she listened to Ajahn, then she also reflect that if so, then a patient will be the one who have right speech and right livelihood because he doesn't do any wrong.
Like the one who sits in the forest in silence or something.
So nothing about the Dhammas, the realities arising at the present moment from the meditation instructor.
So the teacher, the meditation teacher, told many things, and that it is good and the right speech and so on. But I have the impression it was not explained that it is not a self, not a person who does this or that, not about conditioned realities.
And when you hear this, does it sound right or wrong to you? What's your idea?
I forgot an idea that she said that since she has more right understanding, then she know that studying Dhamma or any path is necessary to be detached. It's not that to gain anything. So I would agree with that. It's not that the purpose or the target to gain anything. So it may be include right understanding. It's not something to gain.
Do you agree with her that the way is to develop understanding for the sake of understanding, for the purpose of understanding, Do you agree with this?
But once we bet in our mind, that's the idea to gain anything. So even that to gain right understanding or any parami, so it's still the idea of gaining or getting or taking anything from Dhamma.
So are we now on the path leading to enlightenment?
Ajahn, please correct me if we...
I just ask everyone now to think about it. Are we now on the path leading to enlightenment?
I think if we have even idea of the path
is thinking about that, but the question is whether now at this moment we are on the path or not on the path. Without understanding, it's not the path. So at just the moment of understanding, that is the path, the first leading to other realities to be understood. So only at moment of understanding, just that develops. No one can do anything at all. After hearing, there is thinking a lot, but at moment of just understanding, that is the path. So one can understand by oneself whether now the understanding of reality, even from hearing, will lead to enlightenment, little by little. Without the intellectual understanding, even right now, it's impossible to understand clearer and clearer, because when we talk about seeing as not self, it's not clear. But begin to see that it cannot be self, because it's conditioned to arise and fall away instantly, and nothing can return or to be arise again, even that which sees and that which is seen. And this is the way life is. Nothing to be taken for I or things, because they are only conditioned reality to experience or not to be able to experience. So only right understanding is the path.
Is that correct, Lam?
I think the path is an idea that to gain something.
That is thinking, but we talk about right understanding itself. Right understanding can arise with intellectual understanding or clearer than that when it develops. Otherwise there cannot be enlightenment of seeing as not self or anything now as not self. No selection, not under anyone's control at all. That's why there can be enlightenment even right now, when time comes, when panya is enough to condition the moment of no self to be directly experienced, the arising and falling away of reality right now. So how can there be I? From hearing, it brings about the idea of there's no self, no I, but no direct understanding of seeing right now as that which arises and falls away. So it's the beginning to understand reality as not self, but it would be more clearer and more clear when there is more understanding, even intellectual understanding.
And when it's understanding, when there's a moment of understanding, even it's just weak intellectual understanding at that moment, is there any attachment or any idea of I am gaining anything at that time?
So what we have heard, so at the moment of right understanding, even at whatever level, then it is detachment, is not attachment.
And what can see that? What reality can understand that? Clearer and clearer. What kind of reality which can understand that?
As a learner, then the answer would be Panya.
Right.
Is it correct or not correct?
It would be correct by Dhamma criteria.
By Dhamma criteria, but are Dhamma criteria the correct criteria? If it's by Dhamma that Panya understands that or sees that, is that correct?
Is wise attention Panya?
If it accompanied with Panya, then it's...
So they are different, but they arise together.
I think we should pause for lunch. We can continue at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
By the way, we go out for lunch in about 10 minutes. We'll see you in the reception. Các cô bác với anh chị tham dự pháp đàm thì hôm nay